Hello everybody, this is Dr. Seaton with the Chiropractic Place. Today's video is about whiplash injuries and the long-term consequences of them. I have a lot of patients who come here that have had auto accidents in the past, some who have had them recently, so it's really important for us to understand when we're in a car accident, what should we do? Because long-term, if there's long-term symptoms and problems, how do we try to minimize that risk as best we can? So let's go to the journals that actually study this stuff. This journal is called Injury. This study was done in June of 2005, and this study was on whiplash patients and what happens long-term. Do the symptoms still stay there? And they found that 71% of the whiplash injured patients that they studied had symptoms 7.5 years later after their accident. About 48% of them had mild, 21% of them had, what they'd consider moderate injuries, definitely injuries that were impacting their daily life, and there were 2% that had very severe injuries that needed further investigation to figure out what was going on. But combined, we're talking about 71% of people. So 7 out of 10 people who have a whiplash injury are going to have symptoms 7.5 years later. That's a lot. So if you're in an auto accident, you've had even what you experience as a mild whiplash injury, sore neck, stuff like that, it may be important for you to take a look at what that injury looks like, because a lot of the times with these injuries, you can kind of get some symptoms and then they go away, and then maybe a few months later they start really coming back in a big way. That's more like chronic whiplash. I think it's important to, when people have these injuries to their neck and their upper back, their low back even, if you have these kinds of car accident whiplash style injuries, to understand the nature of that injury very early. Whether you have a bunch of symptoms or not, I think it's important for people to be evaluated. And what was also stated in this study, what they found was that the greatest potential to influence this whiplash, the greatest potential to help prevent symptoms from developing long-term, the greatest potential they found was in the first 90 days after the accident, meaning the people who sought after care early got the best long-term results. And this is something we talk to our patients, because this is not the only study that has published those types of results. There are several peer-reviewed studies now that say that the biggest thing, the single largest thing that you can do to impact long-term whiplash and to prevent that is to get care early. So this is something we discuss with our clients in our office, mobilizing that tissue, preventing the formation of scar tissue, and doing our due diligence to get this to heal as best we can to minimize this from happening. So if you have any questions, if you're in a car accident, you've been injured, if you haven't sought after care, chiropractic care, something to help you, physical therapy, things to help you heal, it's time that you do that and at least start investigating that, because the literature is pretty clear on what can happen long term if you don't. I'm Dr. Seaton with the Chiropractic Place.